For some people, the ultimate experience of flying comes when they throw themselves out of a plane with nothing but a thin piece of cloth to stop them from crashing into the ground. But what happens if their parachute fails to open? Well, that question is answered in this video miracle. It was a beautiful spring morning, perfect weather for a tandem skydiving lesson.
When I got there that morning with about 20 people that wanted to do tandem skydiving, and there were 3 of us that were the instructors.
As they headed into the air, the mood on board the plane seemed relaxed, although some hearts were racing.
At about 11,000 feet, we stand up and get the pair ready to jump. On a tandem skydive, the student is strapped to the front of the instructor, both facing in the same direction, so that even if they roll over, they don't drift apart or slide about or anything like that.
Mike's tandem partner that day was Richard Maynard, and the 2 men were positioned to be the last pair to exit the plane. They would be preceded by cameraman Ronnie O'Brien, who'd been hired to document the event.
I backed out of the aircraft to give me a nice shot of the student and Mike actually leaving the aeroplane together. Mike then deploys what we call a drogue parachute. It's a small parachute which simply slows 2 people linked together down to the same speed as 1 person.
I reached for the drogue parachute and released it, and at that exact moment, the bridle cord, which attaches to the drogue parachute, hit me in the face, which was, I've never had that happen before. In that second, the bridle had gone around my neck. What I decided to do was use the knife that I have on the jumpsuit pocket and cut through the bridle cord. I reached for the knife, but then I just drifted off into unconsciousness.
Ronnie could see that something was wrong, but had no idea of the severity.
I dived down in front of Mike. I could see that the bridle was caught round his neck. They were spinning quite rapidly at this stage. I knew we'd been in free fall some time, and it seemed to me that the simplest thing to do and the quickest thing was to take hold of the reserve handle and deploy the reserve. And I eventually managed to get hold of them. After deploying Mike's reserve parachute, Mike and Richard were pulled out of my grasp. I then, quick as I possibly could, deployed my own parachute. As my canopy started to move, I did just catch a glimpse of them above me.
I was probably unconscious for about 30 or 40 seconds. I can't remember spinning around or being violently thrown about. The next thing I remember then was coming to, and it took me a while to convince myself that we were actually parachuting. My first thought was to take control of the parachute. I had seen a field that I thought we could land in safely. I got the parachute round, got it into wind, and then flared the canopy, and we landed okay.
Now, this sort of thing's never happened before or since. It was an absolutely freak accident.
But more than that, it was also a miracle captured on videotape.
When I was watching the tape, I thought the cameraman wouldn't be able to get to the pair. And I thought, he'll never get in, he'll never get there.
Richard, who was very calm about the whole thing, thought that he was simply being thrown round deliberately, just to give him a little bit more of a fun ride.
The worst part is imagining what would have happened if Ronnie hadn't have been there. Quite often, a tandem pair will jump alone. If that had been the case on this particular day, then the outcome would have been totally different.